like we're ready to go, folks.
Sort of.
Welcome to the Plan Commission meeting for May 2nd, 2017. For those that have not had the pleasure of attending one of our soirees before, the way things work is after we call the roll and approve the minutes, we take items one at a time. First, we start with city staff presenting on an item. Then we open it up just to the commission for technical questions. Once we're done with our technical questions, it's open to the public for commentary or question. Please step up to the microphone and state your name and address so that we have it for the minutes. Once all public commentary is done, we bring it back to the commission for discussion and a vote. I would also ask that you silence your cell phones so that they don't go off during the meeting, which can be rather distracting. With that, let us call the roll.
David Borsak.
Present.
Ed Bowen.
Here.
Jeffrey Tomes.
Here.
Thomas Wojtek.
Here.
John Hintz.
Here.
Steve Cummings.
Here.
Kathleen Clark. John Kiefer.
Here.
Robert Weigert. Carl Nollenberger.
In attendance.
With that, let's move on to approval of the minutes from April 18th. Do we have any additions, corrections, deletions?
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion clearly passes. Let's move on to item number 1, accept drainage access easements at Atlas Avenue and Global Parkway.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Welcome, sir.
The city of Oshkosh is requesting acceptance of 2 drainage access easements to improve access to stormwater detention facilities. The subject site consists of a vacant city-owned property along Atlas Avenue near the corner of Global Parkway. The general area consists of vacant, undeveloped, and industrial uses. The subject property contains a portion of the stormwater detention facilities for the first phase of the Southwest Industrial Park. The city is responsible for the maintenance of these facilities, which requires access for inspection, mowing, and other tasks. The proposed easements will provide flatter access points from the right-of-way onto the property. The proposed easement along the southwest corner of the property is 30 feet wide at the right-of-way and will run 263.89 feet to the north. The easement along the eastern corner of the property is 32 feet wide at the right-of-way and will run 112.84 feet to the north. The proposed easements are located within the setback area of the lot and will not reduce the buildable area of the lot. The Department of Public Works will have appropriate easement documents signed and recorded with the Winnebago County Register of Deeds. And staff recommends approval of the acceptance of the proposed easements as requested.
Any technical questions? Seeing none, anyone here from the public to speak to this item? Okay, public commentary is closed. Back to the commission.
Second.
Questions on the motion? Okay, call the roll.
Kiefer.
Aye.
Nollenberger.
Aye.
Borsak.
Aye.
Bowen.
Aye.
Tomes. Hintz.
Aye.
Cummings.
Aye.
Wojtek.
Aye.
Motion carried 8-0.
Moving on to item number 2, a 2-lot land division and certified survey map at the northeast corner of Harrison Street and Nevada Avenue.
Thank you. This was an item that was removed from the agenda at last meeting, so now here it is. The petitioner is requesting a 2-lot land division containing a total of 2 acres. On the screen, I have an air photo showing the proposed division. The subject site is a 2-acre parcel located at the northeast corner of Harrison Street and East Nevada Avenue. The property currently contains a 30-unit personal storage building and associated driveway and parking areas, but the majority of the northern portion is currently vacant. The property currently is zoned UI Urban Industrial District, which is appropriate for this area with the existing personal storage use. The surrounding area has a wide mix of uses, including the White Grass Carpet Company redevelopment on the south side, light industrial uses to the east, and low-density residential to the west. The petitioner is requesting this land division to split off the existing personal storage use from the undeveloped remainder of the property. Proposed Lot 1, which is on the south side of the parent parcel, contains a storage building and associated off-street parking area. The building is located approximately 6 inches north of the East Nevada right-of-way, with the units being accessed from the north side of the building. The proposed lot line, where's my mouse? Right here, is located about 50 feet north of the building, which provides the required 10-foot side yard setback requirement from the paved area. There is a portion of concrete that does cross the line, and the petitioner has agreed to remove that as part of the approval of the CSM. Proposed Lot 2 on the north side is currently undeveloped. The petitioner currently has no plans for any development or selling the site. Access to the property will be allowed on Harrison Street. On the east side of the property, this was former railroad corridor, and the city acquired it when the railroad vacated it, and the city constructed a combination underground stormwater culvert and surface drainage way which flows to the north. So the city will grant access to Harrison Street on the southern portion of the property. The Department of Public Works is requesting that we place a access restriction for the section that is adjacent to the open drainage way. The proposed land division will not alter the existing land use patterns in the area and is consistent with its city's 10 and 20-year industrial comprehensive land use recommendations. Both lots meet minimum requirements in regard to width, depth, and area for the urban industrial district, and staff has no concerns with the proposed layouts. So with that, that's just a picture of the permitted CSM. And staff is recommending approval of the 2-lot land division as proposed with 2 conditions. Condition 1, all pavement shall be removed north of the 10-foot side yard setback line of proposed Lot 1. And place an access restriction on Harrison Street along the entire area abutting the open drainage way.
Any technical questions? Jeff?
Jeffrey, you go back to the original drawing.
Wrong way.
How is the stormwater handled now off of Lot 1, assuming that it can't run onto Lot 2?
How is stormwater being managed by Lot 1?
Yeah, I mean, we're splitting this off into 2 lots now, so each one has to handle their own stormwater. So I don't see any stormwater detention areas other than the vacant land on Lot 2, so I'm wondering how that water now gets handled off of Lot 1. Where is it going? It doesn't infringe on Lot 2.
That building is quite old, so it probably predates any stormwater requirements. Development of Lot 2, of course, will need to meet current standards.
Well, that's what I'm getting
yeah.
at. I mean, if Lot 1 is draining off into Lot 2, you know, is that gonna create a problem by doing this, you know, approving this CSM? And without that answer, it'd be hard for me to support it without knowing what that answer is.
Yeah, Mr. Godey wasn't available to come tonight, so sorry I don't have an answer for you on that.
Other technical questions? Go ahead, Ed.
I mean, to Jeff's question though, I mean, it's mutual ownership between Lot 1 and Lot 2, correct?
Sorry?
Mutual ownership between Lot 1 and Lot 2, correct?
Yes, well, currently.
So Lot 2 isn't necessarily being negatively impacted by Lot 1, and Lot 2 will be required to comply under future development conditions when it is developed. So, I mean, I don't see what sort of negative,
Well, my
I guess I
point-
don't see what
my
impact
point
we're
is-
necessarily
My point is that Lot 1, his water may be draining off into Lot 2. I don't know that answer. And so by splitting this, to your point, yeah, it's still mutual ownership, but Lot 2 could be disadvantaged for a new owner if water's coming off of Lot 1 and there's nothing we can do about it because we've approved the CFN, or CSM. I just don't have that full answer, Ed.
I kind of feel like that's for the future owner of Lot 2 to decide, I guess.
Go ahead, David.
Not me.
And I'm going to say sorta, but that's one of the things that we've always wrestled with, is what is the responsibility of adjoining, abutting property owners in the stormwater runoff? And the old answers were let them, sort of let them duke it out. But I think that there should be some kind of mention, and it makes sense, because why are they splitting the lots? The inference may be that some sale sometime is contemplated. So how is that gonna be resolved? Should there be a restriction or an understanding when, as a condition of approval?
Okay. Other comments or questions of a technical nature? Okay, seeing none. Anyone here from the audience to speak to this item today? Looks like we're left to wrestle with this alone. Back to the commission.
So I take it there's no owner's representative here,
Um,
or petitioner's representative?
No. We could place a condition on something like cross stormwater agreement, be prepared at time of Lot 2's development if needed, or something like that.
As determined by the Department of Public Works.
Yeah.
Well, development or sale, right?
Well, I mean, it's, yeah,
Yeah, somebody could buy it, not develop it for a
Yeah.
while.
yeah.
I just don't want Lot 2's problem to be created by Lot 1, and we're approving the CSM doing that.
That would be one way, or would you feel more comfortable that we have either the owner and/or somebody from the city to let us know what?
Because it may be a moot point. I mean,
Right.
the water may already be handled, and we don't have to deal with it. I just don't, it's hard for me to.
Right. Go ahead, Ed,
And
and then
I'd
Carl.
feel a little bit bad delaying this. You know, it's not necessarily the owner's fault that Steve can't answer the question. Steve had something else, so
No,
maybe there's some time sensitivity to this, that condition would probably meet our concerns. I'd say we put something like that on it.
Carl.
I move approval with the two conditions in the document, plus the one additional one that Jeff just outlined.
Okay.
If
Did you
Jeff
read it
knows what
back
that
to
is.
us, or-
I don't know if Jeff knows what that is.
No, I'm just chicken scratching here. Cross stormwater management agreement between lots 1 and 2 as required by DPW.
That's fair.
I'd second that.
Yeah.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion, further discussion on the motion? If not, let's call the roll.
Kiefer,
Aye.
Schnellenberger,
Aye.
Borsuk,
Aye.
Bowen,
Aye.
Jones, Hintz,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Wojtek.
Aye.
Motion carried 8-0.
Item number 3, zone change from RH 35 Rural Holding District to HI Heavy Industrial District for property located north of Atlas Avenue and east of Global Parkway within the Southwest Industrial Park.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So city administration is requesting this particular zone change. The subject site is approximately, or is a single parcel totaling approximately 15.1 acres, located north of Atlas Avenue. And the railroad line that runs through the Southwest Industrial Park, and then east of Global Parkway. The parcel is located within tax incremental finance district number 23, which is the Southwest Industrial Expansion Area, which was established in 2009 to facilitate the expansion and continued development of the Southwest Industrial Park, to promote both private industrial development in the area. The 10 and 20-year comprehensive land use plans have the subject property identified as appropriate for industrial uses. And this is, in essence, a cleanup item after the recent remapping of the zoning districts in the city. The city currently has ownership control of the subject site. There are still remaining rural holding parcels within the area, but those are under private ownership, so they're not being undertaken with this particular action. So the purpose of the zone change request is to allow for construction of the proposed transload facility on the property. Through a private-public partnership, the transload facility would contain 2 small rail spurs and associated support facilities. The proposed use would not be permitted within the RH RH35 Rural Holding District, so staff is requesting the zone change at this time to heavy industrial to facilitate continued development in the area. The zone request is consistent with the comprehensive plan, which I mentioned. Additionally, the zone change would facilitate the expansion and continued development of the Southwest Industrial Park. The rezone request is also beneficial to the community as it provides the ability to spur additional economic development opportunities, which is one of the top priorities within the city's 2017 to 2018 strategic plan. So currently, the site is vacant with the exception of a city stormwater detention facility, which was constructed in late 2015, so it's not showing up on the air photo here, but essentially it's located kind of in this northwest quadrant of the subject site. So with that, staff is recommending approval of the zone change from RH35 Rural Holding District to HI Heavy Industrial District as requested.
All right, technical questions. David?
Two questions. One, there was a sliver going to the north. What is the reason for that? And then somewhat parallel question, but the property that's to the north is in private hands? Correct. I would think that we ought to investigate as soon as possible to change that to heavy industrial also. I think it's in the best interest of protecting the redevelopment of the park and that, so that there's no misunderstanding what can go in that, what kind of development can go in that property.
As I recall, this was going back a few years now, that spear heading to the north, there was originally a residential development project proposed for this area here. And the city at the time, when they purchased this from, I can't remember, the Beck Farm family, I believe, they wanted more of a buffer from the proposed residential use to the industrial uses. So that's why we kind of bought a sliver of, I think it's 50 foot wide, that 50-foot wide sliver from the developer who was proposing to develop the private site.
And it'll take us off point, but I think that we need to address that so that, because with the intensity of the development that's proposed for this area, it's not going to work with anything else but some type of industrial, if not heavy industrial zoning to the north.
And I think that is the long-term plan with the Southwest expansion area that was approved back in, what was it, 2009, 2010? So that area is slated for future industrial expansion area.
Other technical questions? Okay, seeing none, anyone here from the public to speak to this item today? Okay, back to the commission.
Move approval.
Second?
Discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Kiefer,
Aye.
Schnellenberger,
Aye.
Forsyth,
Aye.
Bowen,
Aye.
Holmes,
Aye.
Hens,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Wojtek.
Aye.
Motion carried 8-0.
On to item number 4, conditional use permit for a light industrial use, hydraulic cylinder repair at 541 West 10th Avenue.
Thank you. Greg Powers of Black Wolf Hydraulics is requesting a conditional use permit to allow a change of use from a former laundromat to a light industrial use at 541 West 10th. Up on the screen, I have an existing zoning map and existing land use map. The subject site consists of an approximately quarter-acre parcel located at the southeast corner of West 10th Avenue in a public alley and has a zoning designation of urban mixed use. The property contains a 3,100 square foot prefab metal structure built in 1963 with natural stone veneer and glass windows encompassing most of the north elevation. The building was most recently used as a laundromat, which closed sometime in 2016. The petitioner is proposing to reuse the building for a hydraulic cylinder repair facility, which is classified as a light industrial use. And light industrial uses require a conditional use permit within the urban mixed-use district. Looking at the land use map, the property is surrounded by a wide range of uses, including residential, commercial, and industrial. is a close-up aerial photo of the site. The petitioner is proposing to move his existing business, Black Wolf Hydraulics, which is currently located at 520 West 14th Avenue, to this location to allow for expansion. The company specializes in service and repair of hydraulic equipment and cylinder repair, and has been in business since 2008. The business only has 2 employees, both of the owners, with hours of operation from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and most weekends. Petitioner states that customer traffic will be minimal, averaging between 2 and 3 a day, which he noted will be much less than the former laundromat. In a narrative, the petitioner states that the operations will be conducted entirely within the building with no anticipated adverse effects on the surrounding properties, including noise, fumes, and vibrations. And this petitioner did have a contact with the homeowner at 533 West 10th to inform him of his CUP request, and the property owner did not have any concerns with the proposed use. The use is consistent with the city's 2005 through 2025 comprehensive commercial land use plan recommendation, as light industrial uses are permitted through conditional use process, and the proposed use is not out of character with the surrounding area, as there are currently light industrial uses scattered throughout the immediate vicinity. The site is currently 100% developed with the 3,200 square foot building footprint and the remaining 7,300 square foot paved surface area. The petitioner is not proposing any changes to the site design at this time. One thing staff was unsure of was if there was going to be any proposed or potential for outdoor storage of equipment and materials. If so, the storage area must be properly screened to meet requirements of the zoning ordinance. Access, with it being on a corner lot of 10th and the public alley. Go to this slide here. Doesn't go very well, but essentially all along the alleyway and all along West 10th Avenue is just one continuous curb opening. I'll go back to the overhead view. The site currently contains 20 off-street parking spaces, which the petitioner states will remain intact at this time. Although there are only 2 employees, which requires a minimum of 2 stalls and a maximum of 3 stalls, staff does not have too much concern with the surplus parking, as delivery vehicles and customers will need someplace to park. During a site inspection, staff did notice that the parking stall lines were very faded, so we are putting a condition on that the stall lines be repainted. Signage. The building currently has a large legal non-conforming roof sign, approximately 6 feet tall by 24 feet wide, approximately 144 square feet in area. The petitioner states that he intends to reuse the sign for their business. Although roof signs are prohibited by the zoning ordinance, legal non-conforming signs may continue to be used and updated as long as no structural changes are made altering the size or placement of the sign. Looking at the site plan, which is on the left side, up here, we originally had a pylon sign noted at the northwest corner of the property, which would place it near the intersection of the alley and West 10th Avenue. Pylon signs are permitted in the urban mixed-use district with 0-foot setback. However, the sign will appear to be located within a 10-foot vision triangle. And I then spoke to the petitioner, and they have since changed their plans to install a pylon sign at that location. Landscaping, with there being no alterations to the building footprint or paved area, a landscape plan is not required. Same with the stormwater management plan. There's no plans to disturb any of the existing parking area, so a stormwater management plan is not required. All right, talk about the building. The or the front facade consists of approximately 70% glass curtain wall, 15% natural stone veneer, and 15% corrugated steel siding. The petitioner states that he's proposing to remove some of the windows to install a 12-foot wide overhead door. And then when I spoke to him about the signs, he added that he intends to install a second 10-foot wide overhead door. And the locations of the doors will be west of the stone veneer area, which goes from the floor almost up to the roof, as a way to preserve that veneer face. The remainder of the front facade will be finished with vinyl siding with a color to complement the stone. Looking at the corner of the building, the remainder of the facades are 100% corrugated steel, and at this time, the petitioner has no plans to modify the facades. One thing missing was there were no plans included for refuse enclosure, and this will be addressed during site plan review, and the enclosure will have to meet minimum code standards. So with that, staff is recommending approval of the conditional use permit for the light industrial use with two conditions. No outdoor storage of equipment, parts, materials, or inoperable vehicles unless a designated storage area is created and provides minimum screening requirements. And parking stall striping be repainted within the off-street parking area.
Okay, technical questions? All right, none. Anyone here from the public to speak to this item? Once, twice? Okay, back to the commission.
I move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Okay, let's call the roll.
Kiefer,
Aye.
Mullenberger,
Aye.
Warsack,
Aye.
Bowen,
Aye.
Holmes, Hens,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Wojtek.
Aye.
Motion carried 8-0.
Now, item number 5 is a public hearing on proposed creation of tax increment financing district number 32, or the Granary Rehabilitation, designation of boundaries, and approval of project plan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So after the presentation and technical questions, we'll open it up for
All
the
right.
public hearing to receive comments from the general public on the proposed plan. So as was mentioned, item number 5 deals with the designation of TIF number 32, which is being proposed to support rehabilitation and conservation of the former Granary Restaurant building located at 50 West 6th Avenue. The existing structure has sat vacant for a number of years and is beginning to reflect signs of deferred maintenance, creating a blighting influence in the area. Creation of the district will facilitate rehabilitation of the historic, locally landmarked H.P. Schmidt Mill building, which also includes an
Your mic, move your mic.
Thank you. Which also includes a vacant, the non-original building addition to the east of the historic structure for a total building area of approximately 9,500 square feet. So you can see on the picture here, the historic structure, the old mill, and then this is the addition to the east here. The proposed boundaries of the TIF district would include 50 West 6th Avenue and the vacant parcel located to the at the southwest corner of West 6th Avenue and Nebraska Street, which the developer currently has an approved option to purchase from the city's redevelopment authority. The developer is planning to rehabilitate the property into a combination of office spaces for a single user in the original building and a brew pub in the addition area. The vacant lot on the adjacent corner would be developed to accommodate off-street parking to support the office and restaurant use. The city anticipates making total project cost expenditures of approximately $700,000 to facilitate rehabilitation within the district. The potential pay-as-you-go development incentives would be repaid to the developer over the life of the TIF based on the increment generated by the development project. Based on current projections, the TIF district would close in approximately 22 years. The life of the district could be extended to 27 years if need be, if that increment is not created. The total project costs, including the anticipated development incentive, is approximately $1.5 million for the development project. Within the proposed TIF plan, Appendix B provides an overview of the 10-year internal rate of return, or IRR, without TIF, which is approximately 1.95%, and with TIF, the IRR would be approximately 4.74%. The with TIF IRR is below standard development expectation and is generally consistent with the internal rate of returns of other TIF redevelopment projects such as the Beach Building, the Morgan District, and the Washington Building TIF District. Based on the general area, the proposed plan is in conformance with the city's proposed zoning redevelopment plans for the South Shore redevelopment area and the comprehensive plan, which recommends the area for downtown mixed-use development. As you can see on the map, here, the surrounding area is predominantly commercial in nature, which fits the character of the proposed redevelopment project. With that being said, the developer will be coming back before the Plan Commission for review and approval of a general development plan and specific implementation plan at a subsequent Plan Commission meeting, which will allow for additional public input and review on the proposed project. Some of the proposed improvements within the district include the rehabilitation of the current structure, the granary building, for both the office and restaurant users. We would also be looking at some sidewalk or riverwalk improvements along both Nebraska Street and West 6th Avenue, and facilitation of some improvements on the private property or the private parking lot adjacent to the existing structure. And the developer is also proposing improvements along West 5th Avenue and the parking lot located outside of the district, which they currently own and will support the project as well. So with that, staff is recommending approval of the project plan and boundaries for TID number 32 as proposed, and we'll answer any additional technical questions that there might be on the proposed project plan.
Technical questions. David?
I was unclear when you were talking about the amount of money raised during the life of the TIF. Would not that be part of the developer's agreement?
Correct.
That there would be a guaranteed
Correct.
increment?
Correct. That would also be an additional portion of the project that will go to the council once the TIF process or the approval of the TIF plan has been generated. So I think it's our anticipation to go with the TIF plan and the development agreement to council on the same meeting.
So it'd be locked in with the
Correct.
assessed.
Yes.
Thank you.
Other technical questions? Seeing none, let's go to public comment. Anybody from the audience here to speak to this item today? Now is your chance. Thank you, sir.
Chet Wiesenberg, 240 Algoma Boulevard, here representing the developer, and I'm the architect for the project, so I'd like to make myself available to answer any questions.
Questions for the gentleman? Thank you, Chuck. Anyone else here to speak to this item today? All right, public commentary is closed. Back to the commission. Yeah, they would like us to approve the project plan and boundaries. And David has moved for approval. Seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, call a roll.
Kiefer.
Aye.
Nollenberger.
Aye.
Borisek.
Aye.
Bowen.
Aye.
Holmes.
Aye.
Vince.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. Do you have any other business for us today?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're done.
This was absolutely unbelievable.